Is there not finally an irony in the fact that several senior probation officers whom I know are being approached by potential private providers and being offered high salaries in order to join them? It's a rather ghastly merry-go-round, really, isn't it?
Well, I think I would not for a moment say that we don't have good professionals in the probation service doing a good job. But the fact that you've got really good individuals doing a good job and you've got people who can have good ideas doesn't necessarily mean that the system always releases them to do that. And I think you very rightly highlighted in your report that only a quarter of probation officers' time is spent on work that actually involves direct engagement with offenders. So, the systems don't necessarily work.
With respect, Minister, that's because of the workloads. That's because they were asked to pump in stuff into a computer rather than spend time face-to-face with their clients.
Yeah, so
that's the reason for that, not their fault.
No, absolutely not. But so we give them the freedom not to do that. If I'm not sitting at the centre saying, I need you to tick these 138 boxes, then they might actually be able to get on with the job. And so, I think there's really good expertise in the probation service. I think there's really good expertise in the voluntary sector, and I think there's really good expertise in the private sector. And if we can actually leverage the best of all of them, we can actually bring down the reoffending rates.
But finally, when I was in my early years of practice in criminal law, I went to many prisons. And what I found every time was that there's a probation officer there to ensure that the prisoner would have a seamless voyage out of the front gate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're suggesting that now, which is laudable, but it happened then. So what's happened in between?
Well, I've yet to meet an offender that's described a really seamless voyage through the prison gate.
And it used to happen years ago. With respect, it did happen years ago. Yes.
Well, maybe we've got to get back to some of those fundamentals. Maybe we ended up with a system that's too centralised and too bureaucratic. And what I'm trying to do is to get back to a system that's decentralised, less bureaucratic, where there's much greater independence in the front line, but actually part of what we do is performance related, because what I don't want to do is say, you're completely free, here's some money, get on with the job, but it doesn't really matter if it works or not. I actually want people to be sweating a bit to make it work.